Charlie Kirk once made a chilling prediction. He said that if he ever spoke out against Israel, they would kill him. Not just smear him, not just cancel him, kill him. And he tied that threat directly to his America First values. Because to truly put America first meant questioning the grip of Israel. Now he's dead. And not just dead, but taken out in the exact way he warned it would happen. A sniper, hidden, waiting, striking from a distance on a college campus. The perfect stage for a story that could be spun to blame domestic enemies, to fracture America even further. But that's not all. His assassination serves another purpose. It's a signal, a warning shot to anybody else who dares to break ranks. And the question we have to ask tonight is this: who really pulled the trigger? Charlie Kirk wasn't just another pundit, he was the voice of conservative youth in America. And that made him lethal to Israel, because Israel doesn't stand on its own, it stands on the shoulders of American conservatives. Without that support, the whole house of cards comes crashing down. If Charlie flipped, if he told millions of young conservatives that Israel was not their fight, it would be over. Within the next generation, Israel would be finished. That's how much power he held. For Israel, Charlie Kirk wasn't just a threat, it was existential. Just months before his death, Charlie Kirk began to shift. He started to speak more critically about certain policies and certain actors that everybody knew were tied to Israel, or at the very least, heavily influenced by pro-Israel networks. And with that shift came a warning. Kirk said that Israel, and the intelligence or political forces aligned with it, had a reach that extended far beyond Washington. Dissent would not be tolerated. And for those who crossed the line, the consequences could be deadly. Most in the media called him alarmist, conspiratorial, over the top. But now, after the sniper's bullet, his words are being re-examined with a new and chilling urgency. One of the first people to connect the dots publicly was Harrison H. Smith, host of InfoWars. In a string of tweets and on-air statements, Smith dropped a bombshell. He claimed that those close to Charlie had confided something terrifying. That Charlie believed deep down that if he ever crossed Israel, if he ever turned against them, they would kill him. Not just cancel him, not just bury him in the press, but kill him. Charlie's audience was shifting. You could see it in the comments, in the energy at his events. Every day, more and more of them were turning against Israel. He couldn't ignore it forever. He was being forced to face that reality. And behind the scenes, he began telling his colleagues what was coming, that he was ready to take a stand, that he was going to align himself with Tucker Carlson and with Candace Owens. He knew the risks, he knew it could be catastrophic, but he also knew it was inevitable. Because Israel understands one thing very clearly. If they lose the young generation of American conservatives, they lose everything. Their influence, their funding, their unquestioned political support, all gone. Charlie saw that. He knew that if he came out and denounced Israel openly, directly, it could collapse the right-wing support for Israel almost overnight.
Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, I don't like generalizations. Not every Jewish person believes that. But it is true, the Anti-Defamation League was part and parcel with Black Lives Matter. It is true that some of the largest financiers of left-wing anti-white causes have been Jewish Americans. They went all in on woke, and it wasn't just ADL. It was some of the top Jewish organizations in the country that have done that. In fact, we have seen this with the recent retreat of Jewish donations that are no longer going to be administered to colleges, right? Mark Rowan, Leon Copperman. Can we get that full list? It's very powerful. The part of the, so that's totally true. And by the way, Tucker Carlson reinforces this. So I'm going to it was quite a day on the internet. Tucker Carlson was interviewing Candace Owens. We have Candace Owens coming up next hour. And Tucker Carlson mentions that Jewish Americans have primarily been financing cultural Marxist ideas. We said this, by the way, last week, and people came after us.
We were on top of it.
We actually said it in a different way. We said, I'm glad that Jewish Americans are reconsidering their financing of cultural Marxism. And people misunderstood it intentionally and slandered us as being anti-Semites. But listen to this. Tucker Carlson is completely correct by saying this, that the philosophical foundation of anti-whiteness has been largely financed by Jewish donors in the country.
And then the unthinkable happened. A sniper's bullet, fired from a distance, on a college campus. The perfect stage for chaos, fear, and confusion. Within minutes, the narrative was ready-made. Blame it on domestic enemies. Blame it on a political division. Use it to stoke the fire that's already tearing this country apart. But for those who had been listening, for those who remembered Charlie's warnings, the details were impossible to ignore. He said the reprisals could be lethal. He said he would be killed if he crossed the wrong line. Like exposing the Jeffrey Epstein Mossad connections to millions of young mainstream conservatives.
Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was not a hedge fund manager. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet. Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz